Greetings and salutations, Internet. I'm here today with a hell of an update. Um, First time I was called a nigger in over a decade was recently this weekend. It was kind of just a crazy occurrence. But I guess I mean, I could see the culture changing towards that because it was one of the most recent employee evaluations, White Minority Report over on Netflix.net. I was like noticing in my algorithm, which I don't keep up with any of this shit, but they were pushing these dumbass racist motherfuckers talking about black criminality, uh, talking about the black IQ, all kinds of uh, talking points that I just know became super popular. And it's just, silly as fuck. Like the dumbest motherfuckers talk about the general IQ. Like want to take credit. Well, the average IQ is higher. Like, what's your IQ? You little fucking rock dweller, fucking piece of shit. But now I noticed like a trend in that, and then it was someone who just got notoriety like recently just started like up in the ante. He's going up to harass black people with a gun, and he's like filming himself and he's calling them chimps, and he's like, don't chimp out, calling them niggers, stuff like that. It's like a comfortability I'm noticing with a certain subgroup of people. And yeah, I really I know a lot of that shit is not organic. Like what it is definitely pushed. Like when I lost my largest channel back in 2014, it's taken down by something called the Atlantic Council. Me filming my interactions with the police, their harassment, right? Um, the Atlantic Council, before they started taking out people for police videos like the ones I was making, they were taking down Palestinian videos showing the harassment of the Palestinians from the IDF or IOF, depending on who's calling it. But yeah, they were able to censor the internet of all of the crimes that the Israeli government was responsible for. This was like over a decade ago. Like I said, my channel was taken down in 2014. They started taking down Palestinians like around 2012. But it was the police who were harassing me were being trained by the IDF. They were being trained by the Israeli government on the techniques, like the driver's license checkpoints and all that shit. They got that shit from Israel, as well as the censorship. But while they were censoring me for showing this harassment and using my platform to try to do something about it, there were people doing pranks in the hood. That's when people would go into black communities, harass the people, film their interaction, and then talk shit about them because they were just like they got mad that some clown showed up to their community and just started fucking with them. And YouTube, that shit was propped up in the algorithm, right? So you have it incentivized more people to do it. So this most recent cat, the one going in like he's threatening to mace people, shooting people, flashing his gun. His name is like Chud Sucker or build up the chubbies, build chubby builder or something. It's a transgender streamer. Um, and it's just like he has such disdain for the black community, and it's like an ongoing thing because he's not the first person. The phrase "chimp out," which makes no sense, or it definitely makes no sense to direct it towards black people. For white people to direct it towards black people, literally, it's just that the opposite is true. One is closer connected to the actual chimpanzee, and it's not black people. Um, but Um, yeah, it's just, I started seeing, this escalate. It get bigger and bigger. And I think it's all by design because, more and more people are feeding into it, which leads to my interaction. It was like a homeless dude. He was out talking to himself. Um, and then, I became his focal point, and he was just like, he didn't get, he didn't really say it to my face. He said it with an earshot. And this motherfucker just, like, he was across this little bike lane, and he was like doing this whole intimidate. Like, he had this torch lighter he pulled out, and he just started like turning it on, and he was like, "Yeah, fucking nigger." And he had like the torchlight, like he thought that would be scary. But motherfucker, I just watched you use that to smoke meth. So it's like, I don't want to fuck anybody up who's having a worse day than me. This motherfucker's life was in shambles. But I did want him to get closer to say it to me. But he, like, when I started to approach him, he started to back away. But I was like, yeah, come here. I didn't quite hear that. And yeah, he just skated off. Um, and it's just what I want people to wrestle with, understand. Yes, last person who called me a nigger about 10 years ago, different state. I was in Oregon, like Salem, Oregon. This cat was he was like similar to the other guy. He had like mental issues, looked like he was homeless. Pretty sure he was high. He had like all this little shopping cart full of his shit, and he was yelling at other people. He's like, "Fucking bitch!" And then I walked by, and he was just calling other people names, descriptors of what they were wearing or what they were doing. But then I started coming. He's like, "Fucking nigger," but he was like across the street, but he was saying it real loud with his chest. Um, but it's like one of those situations. I didn't want to beat his ass or anything like that, because once again, felt bad for the cat. But what you guys need to understand, you're in all this destitution, suffering, and all that shit. Do you really think black people are your problem? Poor black people? Do you really think like they're in control of the media? They're like in control of the housing. They're depriving you of a living wage. You think it's them? Do you think they're the ones taking your kids to these islands and raping them and eating them? Or do you think it's these rich white people who look like you, but they live a completely different life? And I realize it's pretty chic to hate, and especially hate people who got nothing to do with the problem, because that is a distraction. If you were actually focused on your enemy and you were locked into who's making your whole living situation worse, it will be people who look a lot like you. um, and you have to unite with the people that you're currently harassing. Uh, um, and you look at any successful revolution in the past few decades. Yeah, or any time ever. Like, the people have to love each other. Uh, 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 we can't hate each other. And we can't direct any of our fury towards each other. Like all of these this violence towards people who look different it doesn't benefit you at all. Um, and people popping out. I'm one of the more calm people. I never give people the reaction that they're seeking when they're trying to elicit something negative from me. However, uh, there's a lot of motherfuckers who'll just shoot you. Um, and that's why the one cat who had the gun filming himself harass people, uh, Chubby Sucker or whatever his name is. Um, he won't say something when you're close quarters when you're close enough to put hands on him. Like he backs up, like gets away, he pulls a gun, and then he calls you a nigger. And he's like, "Don't chimp out, chimp out, chimp out, you fucking." And how popular that term is, it's just it boggles the mind. I'm perplexed as to how that can gain any traction. Um, but what do I know? So much shit. I still don't know what 6-7 is about. Um, so it's just I just know we could do better. Like this is not the culture that's going to get us the world we need to build right now. But if y'all were to take some of that same energy, if we had live streamers who were outside of billionaire homes and they had guns and it was like they just like because right now the one of Fauci's underlings is being prosecuted for lying to the public. They pardoned Fauci. Joe Biden did, but that's only in America, and that's only federal government. Um, but if like these people who are just like harassing all the poor black people for like benefiting nothing, you're like, I don't know if it's the clicks or views you like, and it's just like this subgroup. It was like these racist bitches who are just like co-signing this kind of behavior like it's okay. But if instead of targeting all that anger and all that vitriol towards people who don't deserve it, if we had live streamers like going up to the people who were enforcing COVID policies, the ones who were funding genocide, we had people who were on Epstein Island being rounded up, and they were filming themselves like with guns, like and calling them, "Hey, don't rape me," instead of "Don't chimp out." Like, how about you stop raping children? I feel like that you would get a lot more favor from the public, and I feel like that would be a much better like message. Once again, I'm not condoning rounding up billionaires. I mean, I would like to see teams of bounty hunters tracking down billionaires, but that's like a whole nother story. I'm not saying everyone should just start doing it all willy nilly, but if people were rounding them up and deporting them to ICC to the Hague to face justice, I wouldn't be mad. But when we start getting into the guillotines and off with their head, I don't. That's a different story. But you make peaceful revolution impossible. You make violent revolution inevitable. And we tried to do the peaceful thing. Some are still trying. Um, but if we are going to be directing any violence towards anybody, it needs to be towards the people who are making your actual life worse. So all of the harassing minority communities, if it's not the top richest 1%, don't do it. That's the only community you can specifically target because they robbed you. They took all of the money. You worried about black people still in welfare. Biggest welfare queens are the richest corporations. Like they still more money per capita. No one is a billionaire without becoming a huge welfare queen. That's why they should all be arrested. And black people are not even because after that it's white people. number two recipient, just poor white people, and then black people are much later in the pecking order. And every time you try to apply for benefits, you got all kinds of extra roadblocks. Like I remember when I was trying to get benefits in California after having all my channel wrecked, losing all my money, and I had a girlfriend at the time who was costing me more money. So I was like trying to get some more, some income, like food or if they had money or something. But then they said I was ineligible because they said I owned a bunch of Google stock that I had no access to. I was like, what the fuck are you even talking about? But yeah, it's I feel like that was a target, like, kick me when I'm down. Like after cutting my money, I couldn't even get benefits when I was in Cali. But the black people you see are not the problem. And all of the uh, um hate is really just gotta y'all just gotta cut it. I don't know who thinks that's beneficial. Like I said, I know um people get marching orders from some people. They got agent provocateurs, um, and they get the extra platforming. It's just we have to be aware when we start seeing hateful shit pop up in our feed constantly, and then we start seeing the people profiting off of being deplorable people. We got to start to question why is this in my feed? What the fuck? Why am I watching these pieces of shit just go up to black people and call them nigger all the time? Um, what is the benefit? Why am I watching someone with a gun threaten people while calling them the savages, acting like they're the problem? Um, you know, uh, if we don't start to question this shit, some people just follow along, and like I said, not everyone is so nice. I don't choose to lay hands on someone for words, but I'm a rarity. And there's some people who got like big guns and little to live for. You never know when you're fucking with someone who just who's got nothing to lose. Um, and that's all it takes. You just think you're making a smarmy comment. You think you're gonna hurt someone's feelings, and you end up getting shot over some dumb shit. And at the end of the day, like you get away with it. You're unscathed. What was the benefit of being that person? How did your life get better? How did your community get better? Are you guys going to trust each other more? Or now you got someone to look out for? Because I might be cool now and I might just sneak your ass later, for an example. So now you got to keep one eye open. But I know the comeuppance is on the way, but I just want to make sure because I don't know who else is getting this shit in their feed, and also I've noticed like mad changes. One of them was um, someone added me on on Instagram and messaged me, and I didn't know her. Um, but as soon as she added me and messaged me, my whole algorithm changed. Like where it was just like a bunch of naked women, or it was like this thing. I don't know if it's a trend, but they were just showing their pubic mound. Like it'd be like a regular video, like someone talking about something, and then like they'll lift something and you see the pubic mound. I was like, what happened? But can just getting a message from someone change your algorithm? Because I don't like that kind of shit in my feed. Sometimes I'm looking at my phone in a public place, and if I slick past some of that nasty shit, people think that's what I'm seeking. That's not the intention. But that's another sidebar. But remember, check out Netflix.net because the employee evaluation white minority report it kind of covers a lot of the same trend, but I use like different video and cite different sources in it. It's edited, and yeah, I don't put the edited content on all websites because that shit gets taken down. I mean, it all gets taken down. Um, but Netflix.net is you stay if you want to stay on top of the content. The new employee evaluations, rewinds, ongoing series. Go check it out. And remember to be good to each other. Don't be a piece of shit. Build with your community, even if they look different. Uh, and you know, let's end the caucasity of assuming you're better than someone. You know, it's like James Baldwin. He had this whole speech where he was talking about what kind of society needs a nigger. What kind of society needs someone who they could just assume is below them. You know, where you could just like look at them, no matter how bad your day is, you're like, that person is beneath me. And you know, I'm not looking for a living wage or anything like that. As long as I got my own water fountain, and we could like put on masks and go and harass these people. But if you have a bunch of people with that mentality, your uh, society is broken. That is like that is these are sick people. You know, keep in mind there's no such thing as a white supremacist. Um, there's white supremacist infrastructure which improves certain people's outcomes, their likelihood of success. But for you to need a system that's rigged against one people, that's that or everyone else, that's you acknowledging your own inferiority. You know, when I'm good at a game, I'll like play it with one hand tied behind my back. I'll limit myself. I'll give you some kind of a competitive edge to incentivize you to continue to play because I know I'm gonna crush you if I know I'm the supreme. If I need you to spot me points, if I need all kinds of benefits that you don't get, it's because I know I'm worse. Um, and for you to need to be able to go around calling people niggers and stuff like that, you are a sick person. You are a broken person. Something is wrong with you psychologically. I hope you get it fixed. I hope you have someone investigate whatever the fuck is ailing you. Um, but yeah, that is not the behavior of someone who knows they're superior, you know. And and everyone just keep that in mind. If you ever find yourself hating on someone and you just can't figure it out what it is, um, yeah, it might be something that you need to look within. You know, if you feel like you need to use the N word, you should start looking inward. You know, because I am an N word seeker of light. So you need to find a light within. If you're going out pulling guns on people and calling them niggers and telling them not to chimp out, you need to. You are the chimp. You are the primitive one, the troglodyte, the homunculus, or whatever the fuck. You are the resin on the bottom, just the fucking the just the society is much better off without you, especially, or let's just say your society. I hate no person, but I hate the ideology that filters through people, and that's some very easy to hate ideology. So be good to each other. Don't let the man divide you. We're gonna be showing up at a few different residences. We're locking up billionaires all month. We got quotas we got to meet. Uh, so let that be your North Star: justice, going for the rich white people, and leaving black folks alone. Our internet. Don't forget to be good to each other. Peace.